Hello everybody, and here we are again for another video from me. It has been a while. I've been in a little bit of a creative funk and haven't had the drive to get a video out. I've been doing this one for quite a while at this point, but I finally managed to get around and put it out. It's about time as well. It's based on, obviously, as you can see from the title, and it wasn't intentional, but you know, appropriate t-shirt for the occasion, I suppose. It's the Octobertoys Skeleton Warriors, which for those that don't know, are these guys. Or some of these things, based off of the glyos joints that, you know, are big at the moment for the, I guess, indie toys. I think they're kind of indie-ish, but, you know, these are based off of Skeleton Warriors, which was an old 90s cartoon, which I used to watch as a kid, and was very good. It had a Kickstarter. Was it worth kicking in and getting these guys? Thanks to Mr. Jai, who I do thank very dearly for helping me acquire these things and twisting my arm to getting more, because I originally just had one and not this one, to be honest. But yeah, is it worth me getting these all? Is it worth you getting them, more importantly? Well, why not have a look at the video, and obviously you can judge for yourself. I would say you should probably get them. They're pretty cool. Well, let's check out that video now. No. Okay, so we'll start off this look at the Skeleton Warriors by having a look at the basic Skeleton Warrior. Now, this basic skeleton is completely unpainted, obviously. This is for you to do all the work on, but it's got all the detail that all the other skeletons have. It looks quite nice, got a good skeletal structure. It looks like a humanoid skeleton, so that's kind of hard to mess up unless you kind of forget what skeletons look like. It's got all the bits that you would expect a bone-like structure to have, but I'm really impressed more so than anything by the face. I think the face is really nicely done and looks evil and sinister. Now, if we're talking articulation, boys and girls, let's start off with his head, as it is on a really good ball joint. As you can see, there's a lot of cut there, so you can swivel it around really well. The neck joint also swivels because it's its own piece, because it's glyos joint, but I'll get onto that. But just because of that head joint, he can really twizzle and whizzle it around. Arms are on a universal joint, so they go out a good amount, and they spin and swivel and whatnot. Same for the elbows. They bend 90 degrees and swivel around. And the wrist is just a single little swivel as well. Waist-wise, it's a little bit strange because there's two pieces here. There's the ribcage area, a piece here, and then the pelvis. So a problem is they can go out of alignment, but that just requires you to get in there and just kind of push it back into position. It doesn't give extra articulation, it's just to help spread those pieces out and, you know, glyos joints, who cares. Legs are a little bit strange because they're at an angle, so they'll swivel out this way and this way. It limits it a bit, and it moves out to an okay degree. Not going to get the best splits in the world, but he's doing alright for himself. He could go to the gym more. Knees, just like the elbows and whatnot, universal bend and swivel and whatnot. It's quite good. It's not bad. Ankles here kind of do the same thing. They are on a little joint and move up and down, as you would suspect if I could get it in focus. We also have the joint here. It's not in the bottom of the foot, it's kind of in the top part, so when you swivel it, because he does have kind of ankle joints, it kind of goes at this angle, so it gets a bit weird. You got to really work it to get it into the position you want, which is kind of the big issue with the legs. You need to really work it. The arms, they're really good. I have no issue with them, but the legs, you got to fiddle with them a bit to get them into a position that you want them to be in. Now, in terms of options, you had the original skeleton here. When the Kickstarter started off, one of the little options you got was to get this translucent blue skeleton as well, who's pretty cool in my eyes. But obviously, I don't have him. We also have this much more white, pale skeleton, and if you're a kid from the 90s, you know this is a glow-in-the-dark skeleton. He glows pretty well, looks pretty funky. There's nothing cooler, at least in my eyes, than a glowy, radioactive skeleton. But the main pick of this bunch was, of course, Baron Dark. This is why the Kickstarter went on. This is Baron Dark, obviously the main bad guy from the TV show Skeleton Warriors. These two are neat, but they ain't no Baron Dark. I can tell you that much. So let's just get rid of them. There we go. Bugger off. So Baron Dark has some new pieces on him just to make him pop and look much more like his TV counterpart or toy counterpart, depending on how you look at things. The paint, as you can see as well, brings out a lot of the hidden detail that the sculpt has buried within it. Just adding that paint really makes it pop and stand out. I like the new bits of hair he has. That looks pretty funky, especially from the back. And also on the back here we have his big fancy cloak, which has tattered edges and holes in it, and that frayed bottom, which is really good. But that head sculpt is fantastic. Sinister eyes, great paint, maybe not the best expression, but very good. He does also come with his sword here, which is pretty neat. It's pretty funky. Once again, it's all been painted, and you'll just pop it in his hand, as you would suspect. Because that's how people hold their swords. An issue is the handle, I feel, could have been bigger. It seems to wobble about and isn't held super tight in there, which is a bit of a shame. But you can still hold it up and be like, I have the power, even though I'm not from that TV series. Now, because of the weight of the cape and the way the feet have been done, you need to fiddle with him a bit more than the other skeletons to make him balance, because this cape is actually quite heavy and tends to pull him backwards and make him fall over. I think the hair has something to do with it as well, as he just falls back there. So what you really have to do is kind of turn the foot to the side here, and it just gives him that little extra bit more balance to him. It's an issue with this figure, that's for sure. Now, as I mentioned, the toy does have glyos joints, and for those that don't know, it means you can pop up stuff. So obviously head is the ball joint, then we'll start glyosing him up with the neck joint. I mean, this is easy, it's just peg and port kind of thing, and a good pop, and you can do it here as well. I'll break down and show you all the pieces. Easy bits to get off of these ones. You know, you just a little bit of force and pop, and the plastic's made so it does have a little bit of bend to it, so you're not going to destroy it by pulling it all apart. And then you can just kind of rearrange it how you want. And I don't know, put the legs on the wrong way around and whatnot. The problem is really these arms, especially the top part, because they're so thin, it makes taking the forearms off a little bit more faffy than they should be. And you usually find you start to bend the arms, which you have to bend back. So it's a bit easy to get this bit out. You just have to wiggle it a bit more and then it pops out. But the forearm to the bicep, I guess, is where it gets a bit more tricky, and then you can, if you want, put a leg in there and be a monster. But yeah, these bits I wish were a little bit different. I'm not sure how, but man, it's a bit of a shame that it's not easy to pull out. But maybe, I don't know, maybe that's for the best. And when you break them all down into the little pieces, this is how the basic skeleton looks. You can see him unpainted in all of his little bits that would glyos up. And then the Baron Dark figure is the same idea. Obviously, it's just a little bit different with the paint on him and with the different sculpted pieces, but there's nothing really extra there. The extra stuff comes for Baron Dark in his little bracelets, his loincloth, his cape, and of course his sword. Now, one of the extra little amazing things they've done is they've added this little sculpted piece beneath the ribcage. And for fans of the show, you know that that's the heart crystal, the thing that allows the skeleton to be changed back to being a human being. Excellent attention to detail, guys. Great stuff. Oh, but that's not all. There was one little extra little thing that people got from doing the Kickstarter. And its name was the Skeleton. It's a redone, I think it's called a Faden. I'm not a glyos expert, but they've got some new pieces on and molded some new bits to make him all skeletonized. With a cool bit of armor, these cool extra legs and thighs, and shin pieces, and then obviously the new head, which is really sexy. Oh, it's a super sexy head. I really dig it. Now, the skeleton also comes with a funky new little axe, which is this thing. Looks really cool. More detailed this side than on this side, but still very neat and fits well. He only has one hand to hold it, though, which is maybe a bit of a shame. But yeah, we'll pop off the head, and you can see how cool that is. And yeah, that's just a normal Faden body into there. I'm going to call it a Faden, even if it's not. But apart from that, it's all just, you know, spinny joints and whatnot. He does everything I would expect the original one to do, because you do get the pieces with him, you know, twists and whatnot here and there, and ankles at the top. This piece is obviously separate, so it will move around a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of these, because they don't do a lot, even though they look hella cool. I just think it's a nice little addition that they did, you know, and then you can give him his little axe and have him all choppy and whatnot. A nice little accessory, but not really the selling point of the Skeleton Warriors. And I really like these Skeleton Warriors from Octobertoys. There will be a link somewhere around, I'm sure, in this video to let you get them, you know, go to their site and pick them up. They're very cheap. They're only like $10 each for the basic skeleton, and it's well worth getting at least one just to see if you like them. I do hope that they do more of these in the future. I would love to see Baron Dark have the rest of his dudes with him, like Shriek and Dagger. Maybe even some of the Legion of Light would be nice. Because even on the older accessories, like the skeleton bike here, they'd look alright. Not perfect, because they're a bit small, but really good. I'm completely satisfied with these, especially for the price I paid for them. Well worth getting, I think. So if you're interested, go and grab some. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been entertaining in some way. Now I'll catch you for the future videos of things that I do. I'll catch you later. Or something.
Here it is, the special item you requested. Now give me my reward.
Oh, I have something far better than gold for you, my friend. Immortality itself.
What is this?
Darkest soul, evil's courier, serve me as a skeleton warrior.
Understand now, Baron. Pure joy of darkness.
Now, seeing as you're immortal, get to work. And bring me the other half of the Light Star Crystal.